I've been on a real estate reality TV show. I know what happens behind the scene. I've done 2 big deals with Josh Flack and working on a big one, $40 million deal with Josh Altman right now. My name is Arvin Haddad. I'm the How to Buy a Mansion guy. I'm going to react to season 15, episode 2 of $1 Million Listing LA. Let's go.
Hey, Francis just told me about the bullshit offer. Can you give me a call to discuss, please?
So we got an offer on Crescent Bay. The offer price is very low. It's $7.1 million.
The property actually ends up selling, spoiler alert, cover your ears, 7.2, okay? This is a 7.1, and the seller thinks it's a bullshit offer, okay, at 7.1.
And I know James. He's going to want to reject the offer immediately. But I'd like to present to him an alternative.
Hi, guys. How are you? Yeah, we're good. So, Francis filled you in. You know, we obviously got a low ball.
Low ball or no ball, actually.
Yeah.
A total bullshit offer.
Do you see how reserved the seller is? They're so emotional, attached to the property, they cannot decide and make decisions objectively. See what happens.
Realistically, 7-1, I mean, that's laughable, right? And it's really a disrespect to all three of us that they would even put in a 7-1 offer.
Disrespectful. Okay, look at the language.
What if we counter them and concurrently reduce the price to the $7,995,000?
That's a brilliant strategy. I've used this strategy myself. She wants to counter the buyer at the same new listing price, okay? Creating urgency for the buyer, thinking, oh my God, after $775,000 price reduction, it's at $8,775, to come down to $7,995, it would bring competition for the buyer. Great strategy. You have a reason and a strategy to present to your seller, especially when they're crazy. You know, you can convince them to bring the property lower to what's actually good for them and stop chasing the market. You also engage with the buyer that is active on the property, right? But the truth is, Tracy spoke her truth with this agent long time ago. When she got onto this listing, it was listed at, $8,995.
In my opinion, they need to be at $7,995.
And she tried to convince them, like many other agents. She didn't stand her ground because she knew if she would say no and walk away, 200 other agents would take it at even less. They would take it at 10 million, right? Because that's the state of our, industry today. Because they're, agents are really desperate and they would do anything and wait for you to realize you've made a mistake and you're chasing the market instead of confronting you. Now you're thinking, Arvin, how would you handle this situation? Look, I've had overpriced listings, but the way I approach it is I don't drink my own Kool-Aid. Okay, and I tell that to my clients. I say, look, Richard, I personally think the valuation of this property is this much. And people actually call me for valuations because they know how good I am at this, how technical I am and everything. So I've already made a name for myself as far as someone who really understands valuations, right? So I attract those people. But a lot of times when someone asks me, it's like, Arvin, tell me exactly how much it's worth. And I tell them exactly how much I think it's worth. I don't care if I'm going to offend them or not, but I'm willing to list it at a higher amount as long as me and you know the true valuation and where we think it is. So when we recognize a good deal, we take the good deal, okay? Now, I can make a Kool-Aid and tell a story like any other agent at a way higher price value because that's, you can always do that, right? But I think honesty between the agent and the seller or the buyer is very, very important, right? And I walk away if I find someone who completely disagrees with me. They normally don't even hire me because they see how strong I am on my opinion. And they would say, you know what, like, you don't believe in this number. I really do. And I'm like, good luck. I hope you sell it for that number. I personally don't think it would sell. And 99.9% it doesn't sell. There's been times where, the seller gets lucky and I recognize that it could happen. But that stuff is not happening in this market right now. You can get lucky in a market that is, going up. On a going down, valuation is way more important because you got to kind of aim below where the market is. So as the market is coming down, you catch it, right? Otherwise, it goes down and you sell it for 7.1 over here.
Whether me reducing to $7,995,000 creates an urgency for the $7.1 million buyer to come up, or it makes a new buyer come to the table.
It has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of the home that you built. It is just, unfortunately, the market that we're in, and things are not getting better.
All right, let's look at the market over there. Let's see if what she's saying about days on the market is true. I'm going to go to Laguna Beach right here. Look, it's already a buyer's market and forecasted to stay in the buyer's market by November. But let's look at the details, declining factors. Days on the market is 62 days, but that's median days on the market. On luxury properties is even more. But look, price cut 70% more than same time last year. Pending ratio is only 19%. Okay, these are all really, really, really bad signs for this market right now.
Well, then I'm glad we had this call. I was pretty ticked off about it as well. Let's try and turn the lemon into lemonade, shall we?
We should have been under 8 all along.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so.
So this happens between sellers and their agents all the time. And frankly, it's one of the main reasons why I started this YouTube channel, to bring clarity to the residential real estate market, right? We shouldn't be like, playing this game. There should be clarity on the market. There should be open communications. But the nature of our business is that real estate agents are not seen as advisors, right? Because if you try to do what I'm doing with my clients, most of you will get fired, right? Or won't even get the deal, because 200 other agents will come in and say, you're absolutely right. The house is worth 9 million. I can probably sell it for 9.5. Come get the listing and wait for you to realize that you're way overpriced, and you just tell the agent we should get a price reduction and then lower the price and sell it. Why? Because there's 100% commission based. And if you don't get the listings, you're not going to make any money.
Beverly Grove's just a few minutes from Reed Crest. Both hillside, vertical builds, both new construction.
All right, here's a very similar property to Reed Crest. If you're a subscriber, you saw episode 1. This is, they couldn't show this property because it was short-term rented. So they're showing this particular buyer this new property on Beverly Grove. Now, try to spot the flaw in the property. I'm going to come at the end, and I can tell you, it's not the one that you think, okay? I'm going to name all the flaws, but the main one is going to surprise you.
Crest is $15,888,000. Beverly Grove is $14,495,000.
Beverly Grove is awesome. Multi-level, 5 beds, 7,000 square feet, modern.
At least my favorite Altman is here.
I also brought...
Pay attention.
Yeah. We were looking forward to seeing Reed Crest.
We were looking forward to showing it to you, but our sellers took a last-minute booking, and we didn't know about it until we showed up.
This looks pretty comparable. So Peter's looking for something newly done with views, with a pool, great for entertaining. Look at this. Can you imagine waking up in this bed every morning?
Okay, did you notice that? So both properties from last episode and this episode are very similar. They're both hillside, both kind of upside down house where you enter from the middle level or the high level, and then you have to go down to get to the swimming pool. They both have privacy issues. They're both kind of positioned in the south-north facing properties. But the number one flaw with this situation is that I don't think that guy is a real buyer. And I've been on a reality TV show, and I'm an ultra high-end real estate agent, and I can spot a fake buyer when I see one. Let me show you guys first why. I had to do about an hour of working backwards trying to find out who this guy is, because I didn't recognize him.
Don't scratch the paint. Captain, the Enterprise is hailing us.
Do you recognize this guy? That's our friend Peter. First thing I noticed was that the way he walked, the way he presented himself, the way he was dressed, he just didn't look like a $15 million buyer. I've just shown so many, properties in that price range where I kind of know the feeling and the way they ask questions and how they dress and how they walk. So I thought he's an actor. And then I started working backward, and he was an extra in Star Trek like 30 years ago. His name is Peter Clog, and here are all the shows he is in. Now, unless, he's been amazing real estate investor or stock market or something, I personally don't think he can afford a $15 million property. Now, I could be wrong. If I was going to bet my money on it, I would have assumed it's either the producer of the show, they needed a person and they couldn't find someone to be on camera, so they created a fake buyer, or the buying agent wanted to be on camera and brought a friend, or the Peter guy just has, doing some Tony Robbins visualization program where he sees the property to believe it and then maybe it will, manifest itself. I don't know. So as a real estate agent, how do you avoid this? You got to do multiple things. First, proof of funds. Bank statements. Yes, those could be edited, but you got to back it up with the company name, with the company website, with a LinkedIn profile. You got to do all that stuff, because I've seen so many fake buyers. I don't understand why they do it, but there's so many of these situations that happen all the time.
After my talk with Allman, I think we're in an okay place, but I really don't like that he tells people I don't sell modern houses. Frankly, it's bullshit. I sell moderns all the time. Case in point, look at Carly.
Wow. Oh my God. An aquarium bar.
Isn't that something that you kind of like?
It would be cool, yeah, if there were some sharks and stingrays swinging by.
It's possible.
I just found this house in the flats. It's modern, 15 million bucks, not even on the market. I just found your house.
Where is it?
You could be my neighbor.
Wait, in the flats?
Yeah.
So this is on the 500 block of Beverly Hills flat. The house she's selling, if you've seen episode 1, you're a subscriber, then you would know, is on the 700 block of flats. Very big difference. And once you see this, you will kind of get to know why it is, and I will tell you guys why it's a very tough decision for her.
Formal living room. Got this gallery right here.
I like a museum vibe for homes.
There you go.
I'm into that.
Open floor plan.
I love that light. It's gorgeous.
Here's the kitchen. Then you have your family room over here.
I love that it's brand new. You know, that's like such a critical thing.
It's a great location,
Yeah.
and it's a great deal.
Mostly because it's a good deal. This property is about to trade for very close to its replacement cost. Okay, that's very important. I think that's what Josh Flack sees in this property, because he gets a pretty decent deal for his client. This property was purchased for $6 million in 2017, and then they've probably spent another $6 million fixing it up. So they're in it for 12. They end up, spoiler alert, they end up selling it for 14.4. Okay, so the person who built this barely made any profit on it in the 5 years they held it. Not a great return. And why is that? Because it's on 500 block of Beverly Hills flat. You see, a lot of Beverly Hills has a big brand. A lot of people move from out of town and they see a 500 block, which is very close to where they would drive, and they think, oh, perfect, I could be right here, I can walk there. To the locals, that's a big negative. And the 500 block does not appreciate anywhere close to 600 block or the 700 block. That's why doing a flip on the 500 block is just not really profitable unless you bought the property 20 years ago and you're just fixing it up and selling it, then you're in the green. But if you want to do a flip and, make a lot of money, you got to do it on the 700 block or even north of Sunset, because most people don't want the, A+ house in a C- location. Now you're thinking, Arvin, what is the exact appreciation difference between the 500 blocks of flats to the 700 blocks of the flats? So for the 700 block of the flats, her property is actually the best one because we're comparing that one. Let's compare it with something else, right? So that one traded multiple times around $11 million, okay? And it just sold for 16.5. Josh Flack, hitting a home run on that one. That is a 50% increase in 3 years. That's 16% a year. Now, this property that, she ends up buying, that property was purchased for $6 million in 2017. And guess what? Just last year, a same property on the next street over on Camden sold for 7.2 in 2022. So that is a 4% rate of appreciation. Now, the out-of-towners don't know this, but the locals know this. You get capped out on the 500 block because it just doesn't appreciate as much as the other one. So she has to make this big sacrifice. Do I take this property that it's kind of like, one of the crown jewels of Beverly Hills flat, which is worth $16.5 million, and then I dump another $10 million and then, sit on it or live in it, right, myself, and then let it appreciate at a higher rate? Or do I just take the profit right now, buy something in the 500 block, get the comfort today, but get a lot less appreciation over time? The problem is with properties, brand new construction like this, as soon as you sit on it, 10 years goes by, all those finishes are going to be old and you haven't got the appreciation. So the next owner, would discount the property because the finishes are old and you're kind of stuck in this cycle. Okay.
Okay, look at this incredible primary.
It's got a very zen feel.
You don't have to wait 3 years to move in. Look at this closet. This could be your side, that could be your side.
This is amazing. How many bedrooms and bathrooms are there?
So this property actually has 4 bedrooms on the second floor. The big problem for this property is the fact that it had a 1-car garage. That's really rare. I don't even know how they did it. I think they just allocated a really long carport, and they opened the back to the alley to allocate, pretend it's kind of a garage, and they kind of made it work. But it has a basement, which is really cool. It just overall, it kind of a good house, but it's too big of a house for the lot. So this lot is about a little bit more than 1/3 of the lot that she's selling. The backyard is super, super small for Beverly Hills flat. Now, if you haven't seen episode 1 or episode 3, click over here, and I'll see you guys in the comments. Take care.